Good afternoon, Pride League. We're in the middle of our first week of the playoffs. Um, Things are pretty interesting. Like they're about as tight as I thought they would be. Still anybody's game, especially in the playoff. The consolation bracket, I mean, who you're playing for Pride, but we got people in there that not even really trying anymore. It is what it is. So there's not a whole lot to report here. I just wanted to check in, give my condolences to Shazier and his family. That was brutal what happened to him. Um, you know, a lot of suspensions tossed around. Football's a violent game, very violent. Um, but you never want to see anybody like that be carted off and have no function of the lower body whatsoever. It was a sad day. Made me a little misty eyed, but he's alive. Hopefully, he'll be able to continue doing what he loves, and if not, he'll hopefully find something new that he loves. So, uh, thoughts with Shazier and his family. But that's Debbie Downer. Sorry about that. Sorry about the Debbie Downer. But let's get into what happened last week. We got leads going into this week. Let's talk about Disabled Vigilantes and Chicago Chalupas, considering that they are the most exciting teams to watch this week. We've got Disabled Vigilantes score over 180 points, and Chicago Chalupas doing what you need to do to stay relevant against a team that has just been dominant all year. Scored 150, currently down by a little over 30 points. This is still anybody's game. If you got Melvin Gordon, Ben Roethlisberger, and Antonio Brown on your team, there is no way you can be counted out. AB could catch 3 touchdowns. I mean, who's throwing the ball? Obviously Ben Roethlisberger, so that's like double points. This could be, he could turn around and score 250 points and just go crazy this week. But, I'm not hoping for that, obviously, since he's playing me. I have a lineup. I've been thinking about tinkering with it, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to replace Shazier, and I'm going to move on. The lineup I had last week will be the lineup I have this week. I like all of those matchups, with the exception of Rex Burkhead. All my guys are being at home. They should be comfortable. They should be well rested. I like where I'm at. Some of those matchups are a little but I'm going to play them. They got me here. I'm going to ride with them. So, that's the matchup between Disabled Vigilantes and Chicago Chalupas. I picked Disabled Vigilantes to win that because I believe Disabled Vigilantes, myself, will win this matchup and go to the championship once more. This time, I hope I can get to the championship and make some noise. So, we'll discuss playoff appearances a little bit later. Let's go ahead and talk about Classy Strippers and The Grind is Real, the other matchup that holds significant relevance when it comes to the championship. Classy Strippers came up, scored over 140 points. Much better than I anticipated, and The Grind is Real, with a few matchup plays that he kind of made mistakes on, is a little bit under 130 points. That being said, still anybody's game. The Grind is Real. If he gets his hustle on, can easily catch Classy Strippers. Classy Strippers has a sneaky good team for these upcoming weeks. I like a lot of his players, and especially the matchup. So Classy Strippers is obviously playing head games. He doesn't have anybody starting right now, and it's hours before the Thursday night matchup. So we'll see if he won't play anybody besides Will Lutz, who's playing tonight. He's just going to keep it a mystery, whatever. With that being said, I had Classy Strippers winning this matchup, and I got to say that they're going to actually be able to stave off. They got a mild lead of about, little under 20 points. So I got to give it to Classy Strippers. I don't think the difference in this week will surmount 20 points or, in between that 15-20 point mark. Classy strippers will continue to win. Now let's talk about the consolation ladder for a second. We got Down Goes Frazier versus A Storm Is Brewing. These were the two guys that, had an opportunity to get into the playoffs. If some things happened, they didn't. So now they're at the top of the consolation ladder. Down Goes Frazier has pretty much given up scoring 74 points. A Storm Is Brewing proved that he could easily have been a noisemaker in the playoffs had he made it, scoring 164 points. I had Down Goes Frazier originally winning this one. I'd like to change that up, obviously, because A Storm Is Brewing is just going to mollywop Down Goes Frazier. Next, we have When I Dip, You Dip versus Bull City. Now, When I Dip, You Dip, he exited our GroupMe chat. I hope he comes back next season to redeem himself because, even though he was middle of the road this year, I think knowing our stat categories and being a little more familiar with how these people are drafting, maybe taking a little notes, make some noise next year. I mean, we'll see. I hope Adam comes back, but he has given up on the consolation ladder, and Bull City has not, scoring over 170 points. Get him, boy! So Bull City, I actually had Bull City winning this one because Bull City was one of the teams I wouldn't have wanted to play if he made the playoffs. Bull City continues to dominate that easily. Next, we have Miami Dice versus Lazy Pugs. Lazy Pugs is one of those teams that I admire because he has no quit in him. However, he is down by a few points. I got Lazy Pugs winning this one, and I still have Lazy Pugs getting the W, even though he's down right now. Next, we have the toilet bowl matchup, Flawless Victory versus Complex Stat Lines. These guys have been at the bottom of the barrel pretty much all season. Complex Stat Lines marginally ahead. I gave this one to Complex Stat Lines because I really don't think Flawless Victory is paying attention anymore. And, I mean, unless there's a punishment for last place, why should he, right? Complex Stat Lines continues to get that victory. Now, like I said, not a whole lot. Video is probably longer than it should be for a midweek update on the playoffs. Just wanted to let everybody know that this is the 6th playoff for what we have here. This is the 6th season of playoffs. I want to just relay that Classy Strippers won our very first season. He was in the playoffs and won it. He made an appearance the following year, ended up getting third, and he has, after a drought of 3 seasons, finally made another appearance and looks to be pushing for that championship season. So this is Classy Stripper's 3rd appearance in the playoffs and doing pretty well for himself. Let's look at the other contenders, right? Chris Garcia and The Grind Is Real. Last season, playoff appearance, didn't really do too much, got 4th. And this year, probably looking to be on the same level. But there is still time. He could easily go from 4th to 1st. If things pan out, if the chips fall where they lay, he still has an opportunity. Nothing is set in stone. But, I mean, coming into the league fairly later than the rest of us, Chris Garcia has made some serious noise and has been a constant appearance since he's been in the league and looks to continue that trend. Next, we have our current champion, Alejandro Hernandez. Alejandro Hernandez is very much a playoff staple. He championed last year, 3rd place the year before that, champion the year before that, and now he's in the playoffs, currently down, but definitely not out. This, I mean, can you call it a dynasty? Do you throw up the rock? I don't know. I don't know. Alex Hernandez, wonderful job, great management of your team. Even though you got Antonio Brown by some, slightly, dark methods, I would assume. Shout out to Shah, who, who just came in, wrecked the league, and then left. And then you got myself. Like Alejandro Hernandez, this is my 4th appearance in the playoffs. Didn't make it the first year, but the second year I got 4th. The third year I got 4th. I mean, this was really hurting my heart. And then that 4th season, I got 2nd and fell short to Brent Kessler, who's no longer with us, and got 2nd place. It showed a positive trend. And then last season just was a debacle. It was an absolute debacle with me not being in it, and a lot of that hoopla. Anyway, but this season I'm making noise, 11-1, scoring over 1,900 points in the regular season, and I just have a team that has not disappointed me in any week. Even the week that I lost, they still put up over 140 points for me. It was, this. I don't want to call it destiny. I don't want to be calling things destiny, but right now it looks like it's meant for me to finally grasp a hold of that championship title. So, I don't, like I said, it's still up in the air. We got 3 weeks before we crown the champion. Anything can happen. I just hope that the trend continues in a way that has been, indicative of what's happened in the past. So, let us continue. I just want to give everybody a happy whatever and hope that all their fantasy dreams come true. For you guys thinking about next year, it's sooner than you think, kind of. But good luck to everyone except for Chicago Chalupas. Fuck that nigga. And I'm out. Peace.